version of Mr. Sibisi.
Exactly,
Matlou
man.
basically says, during the period which the defense put that he, Mr. Sibiya, was never ever in Gauteng.
Yes.
On 2 dates,
Yes.
it shows that he was in Gauteng. That's all.
Yes.
That's all it is about.
And this witness, in addition to Mr. Matlou,
Yeah, fine.
in amplification of his version, says, beyond what Mr. Matlou says about this RMTC thing, on certain days I also came here and submitted my curriculum vitae for job application. So, but now Mr. Baloyi says, but why was that then not put to Mr. Matlou? For Mr. Matlou to do what with it?
He was at the peak of his career. Who did not like that?
Is this just
Say it was him.
Hello, members of the Court of Public Opinion. I am Mrs. Independent, aka I am not a lawyer, but I am coming back just to, unpack this exchange between Advocate Baloyi, Muzi, and what was said by Advocate Ramusibele then about Sibiya not being in Gauteng since 2013. I only came back in 2015. I think, yeah, that's what he said. But now the state is saying you lied, you came to Joburg twice, and this is the proof from Department of what is it? From licensing department, it really is. And so this makes you unreliable. But now Muzi is coming back and saying, yes, I was in Joburg because I was still young looking for a job. I would come on certain days when there was a need, but I would definitely go back home because I was not working. So there was no need for me to stay in Joburg. That's what Muzi is saying. He is basically saying what you are saying as state does not tie me to the matter of Senzo Meyiwa. So now, Muzi saying what you are proving is about that I was here and I was doing this, but you cannot link me to the matter of Senzo Meyiwa. And according to me, if the state can link his presence in Joburg to 2014 when Meyiwa was taken away from this life specifically, then all this proves that yes, he traveled. It does not prove that he's guilty. But let's take a listen to this clip further.
On these days I did this, on that day I did that. You'll count the years.
yes? You see, Mr. Sibiya, this proposition goes to the heart of your defense in this matter.
Manje ke le ncazelo le iya lapho ke kuthi uziphendulela ukuthini ke wena kuleli cala.
Angiphenduleli icala mina ngisho ukuthi mina ngesikhathi esisobe ngikuphi ngesikhathi esisobe bengikuphi ngoba ngisho ukuthi 2013 ngiye ngahamba ngayohlala ekhaya.
No, I'm not.
2015 ngabuya ngazohlala lapha eGoli.
I'm not responding to the matter. I'm not answering to the matter. What I'm saying is that in 2013 I left Gauteng to go and reside at home and then came back in 2015.
Ngaleli icala akukho engikwaziyo ngalo.
I do not know anything about this matter.
Yesterday, you mentioned that you also came to Gauteng on certain days to submit your CVs to apply for jobs. Is that correct?
Ukhazile ke izolo ukuthi ubuza la eGoli uzofaka ke ama CV einkampanini ukuthi ufuna umsebenzi kunjalo.
Yebo kunjalo.
Yes, that is correct.
And you also mentioned that you cannot recall the dates on which you came to submit your CVs in Gauteng.
Waphinde waqhubekela phambili nenkulumo yakho ukuthi awusakhumbuli lezo insuku ukuthi buka kuluphi usuku mhlawumbe idate.
Yebo angikhumbuli.
Yes, I do not remember.
You see, Mr. Sibiya, this is not the version that was put to Matlou, that you also came to Gauteng on other dates, other than the ones that Matlou referred to in order to submit CVs in Gauteng.
this witness, having been confronted with what Matlo said, that on certain days, there were dates that he came to make an appointment for his licenses and all stuff like that. He further added that, and that is now under cross-examination. For instance, I also came on certain days where I submitted my CVs because I was looking for a job. Why should then that version, why must that version have been put to Superintendent Matlo? Because Matlo has only been here to testify about his own area of operation, which is RMTC. Why should that version then have been put to Sergeant Matlo?
Yeah, okay, fine. Yes, Mr. Baloi.
Well, from council's own submission, it is considered that this version was not put to Matlo. That's all that was saying, that you agree that this version that you also came to Gauteng on other days was not put to Matlo. That's all that was saying, Lord. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, there is everything wrong with it, because Matlo has not come here to testify about what happened on the 26th of October 2014 at the Kumalos. Matlo has been requested to compile an RMTC report. He's working in the traffic department. According to his analysis, on certain dates, Mr. Sibiya has been here to do his license testing and to write his license testing. He has not been here to testify about what happened on the 26th of October 2014. So why should that version then have been put to Mr. Matlo? What would have been the relevance of that version being put to Mr. Matlo?
They're fine. I can argue that.
Yeah, maybe we'll read.
Exactly, my lord. That is exactly what the state should also do. The state must argue that as well.
I don't know. The state is basically talking about dates.
Yes, my lord, the dates. But this witness,
And
under
the
cross-examination, he
fine,
says, for
fine.
instance, on such as, maybe he will still have to come and say, for instance, on other dates, this is what I did, as this monotony is continuing.
Now you can argue that because according to the state, Mr. Ramusipiri put a blanket version
Yes.
that in 2 years,
Yes.
Mr. Sibisi was never ever in Gauteng.
Yes.
Unless you say he never said that. And then now he says, if I understand Mr. Baloi, that Matlo's evidence, and Matlo doesn't have to say, he doesn't even have to know about the version of Mr. Sibisi.
Exactly,
Matlo
man.
basically says, during the period which the defense put that he, Mr. Sibiya, was never ever in Gauteng.
Yes.
On 2 dates,
Yes.
it shows that he was in Gauteng. That's all.
Yes.
That's all it is about.
And this witness, in addition to Mr. Matlo,
Yeah, fine.
in amplification of his version, says, beyond what Mr. Matlo says about this RMTC thing, on certain days I also came here and submitted my curriculum vitae for job application. So, but now Mr. Baloi says, but why was that then not put to Mr. Matlo? For Mr. Matlo to do what with it? Because
Okay.
Mr. Matlo is not a factual witness. He has only come here to specifically testify about that aspect of evidence that he was requested to come and testify on.
No, fine, you're right, Mr.
I have never thought that I would hear one day judge saying to the defense, you are right, fine, you are right. I have never thought I'll hear that. But please, if you are still here, please drop a red heart and a flame. I think a flame will do. Please drop a flame to judge saying to Muniz, yes, you are right. Because honestly, Muniz is right. If this guy Matlo was to be, that version was to be put to him to say, but 3 weeks later he was here and a week before he was here in Gauteng, what would his rebuttal be? What would he say? To be honest, what would he say? So I think that was a good judgment, and please drop your comment on the comment section and let me know what you think. you know. So in summary, we can just say, like I've said, Muzi is relying heavily on his memory. You know, this happened a long time ago. So he's relying on his memory, and the state is exploiting every inconsistency. But then the interesting part is, even if the state proof from the license department only places him in Joburg in 2013, so technically it doesn't disprove his claim that he was in KZN when Senzo was killed, or when he heard about Senzo being killed, you know. And yeah, they are trying to poke holes on his timeline and movements, and trying to say he lied about his movements. And Muzi saying, I didn't lie about my movements. There are certain days where I would come to Johannesburg, you know, but I only spoke about it when I was asked about it. So before, I didn't even think that I can mention that. So reality is, the 2013 license trip don't conclusively tie him to Senzo Meyiwa's murder. They only challenge his consistency and shows or proves that yes, he
Thank you, man.
We'll just develop that further, Malot.
Yeah.
Do you agree that the fact that you came to Gauteng on other days to submit your CV was only mentioned yesterday?
Uyavuma yini ukuthi ke udaba lokuthi wena wawuzala eGoli uzoletha ke ama CV wakho udaba ke siqala ukulizwa izolo?
Mhlambe isikhathi esiqala ukukhuluma ngaso ngalo lolu daba lolama CV okwenza ukuthi umshusisi eqala ukuluzwa izolo yena. Hayi ukuthi bonke yena uqala ukuluzwa izolo.
Maybe the prosecutor is only hearing this for the first time yesterday, because we have now started a conversation about it. Maybe he is the one that's hearing it for the first time.
But are you saying, Mr. Sibiya, that you did mention it previously?
Usho ukuthi wena ke walukhuluma lolu daba ngaphambilini?
Ngalikhuluma nengangikhuluma nabo, kodwa ngoba ngiqala la eboxini umshusisi eqala ukuyifaka le ndaba yalokho yokuza kwami la eGoli, ingakho ngifakile ukuthi mina la eGoli bengiza akusizo lezi insuku ebengibalela zona izolo kuphela lezi bengiza ngazo la eGoli. Bengiza la eGoli ngizofaka ama CV ngoba ngaphela umsebenzi ngangisesemncane ukuthi sengahlala ekhaya waya.
I have spoken about this issue, or I have spoken about this issue with other people that I've spoken to about. And I mentioned it yesterday because the prosecutor started now saying about my comings to Gauteng and not going to KZN and not returning here. I did say that I would come to Gauteng and come and submit my CVs to other companies.
Yes, but do you agree that you, in your evidence in chief, you did not mention that? You only mentioned it yesterday.
We have.
This witness says, my version is from 2013 up to 2015. I agree that on certain intervals, while staying at home, on certain intervals, I will come to Joburg and I'll come to Gauteng and do this and 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 this. If Mr. Baloyi has got other things that he thinks or that he knows of that this witness came to Gauteng to do, let him put those things to this witness so that this witness confirm that indeed on that day I also came to do this and this and this and this and this. This witness has clarified what Mr. Ramusipulu put on record, being the fact that from 2013 to 2015 he has never been to Gauteng. But this witness comes and says, no, I went and stayed at home, but on certain intervals, because I was still young, as he's saying, I would come to Joburg to do this and this and this and this and this and this. If the state wants to pursue this thing, my lord, he has already admitted that not that I consistently stayed at home without me having to travel to Joburg. I did come to Joburg. If the state wants to argue that, then they're welcome to do that, my lord. But it becomes very unfair to put a barrage of questions that are revolving the same monotonous thing on this witness, because in any event, my lord,